Every Monday, I am here to bring you a quick organizing tip in under 15 minutes. All you have to do is click the subscribe or follow button wherever you're listening, and let's get started. Hi, everybody, and welcome to today's Tip of the Week episode. I am Lori Palau, and if you have just found us because it's the new year and you Googled organizing podcasts, welcome. I'm happy to have you here in our tribe of listeners. And if you're an OG, happy 2025. So excited to be kicking off this year with you guys. We have so many fun things planned for this year for our tip of the week and our regular long form episodes. So, one of the things before we get into it is I just want to let you know that this month's episodes are sponsored by my friend Kate Huffnagel and the Digital Wrangler. Now, we are going to be doing an emphasis on helping you guys organize your digital life. That is not my personal wheelhouse, but I have friends who do that as their core business, and Kate is one of them. And so we are partnered up. You're going to be hearing a lot about her foundation's courses, her digital offerings to help you and your family, your loved ones, get all of your personal legacy documents, passwords, files, financials, medical information, all corralled in one spot. And again, it's a big undertaking, but Kate does it in such a simple, practical way that is really achievable. And so I just want to let you know that if you are interested in getting involved and taking this on as one of your resolutions for 2024, we have a link in our show notes, which is thedigitalwrangler.com/TOL. And if you check out, she's got a lot of free resources there. But if you decide that you are ready to embark on her foundations course, which is her kind of her premier flagship course to help people organize all 12 key areas of your life, you'll get 10% off if you use our code. So again, it's thedigitalwrangler.com/TOL. Just want to let you know that. But that's not today's tip of the week. So that's just a bonus tip. So we've been getting a lot of requests or questions about the Enneagram. And so for our Monday episodes for January, at least for the first 3, I thought it would be a fun thing to go down and do some New Year's resolutions based on each Enneagram type. So if you're brand new to the Enneagram, I'm just going to give you a quick overview. And then we also have a lot of information on our website about the Enneagram. So depending on kind of where you are, you can choose your own adventure. So again, just as a refresher, the Enneagram is a personality typology that, unlike other personality typologies like a Myers-Briggs, it looks at your unconscious motivation. So really why you do what you do. And so much of our organization habits, good or bad, healthy or unhealthy, are all stemmed and rooted in how we see the world and how what's important to us and what motivates us for change. And so understanding a little bit about yourself and your own personality is a great indicator to help set you up for success when it comes to decluttering and organizing. And we all know that some people are more successful at it organically. Some people have to work at it a little bit more. And each Enneagram type has its own strengths and struggles. And I go through all of that in all of our digital masterclasses, and we've got episodes on that. But I wanted to just go through, I'm going to teach it starting with myself, which is an Enneagram 8. And I'm going to give you a highlight of our 8s, 9s, and 1s. I'm going to do them in groupings of 3 so that you can start to figure it out. And then again, if you're not sure of your own Enneagram type, we have a cheat sheet, an Enneagram cheat sheet, and I'll make sure that we include that in our show notes as well. So if you're just brand new to our framework, you can check that out and get that for totally for free. And that'll be a great introduction to the Enneagram. But Our Enneagram 8s, as a refresher, are known as the challenger, and we are very doing dominant. So the key thing, the key takeaway when it comes to the Enneagram is understanding that it is rooted with three key intelligence centers. And we all have them, we all use them, which are thinking, feeling, and doing. So we make decisions based on our thoughts, based on our feelings, and based on our action. And when you think about the world of decluttering and organizing, though each of those three centers plays a pivotal role in progress, our thoughts, our feelings, and our action. And so to me, the secret sauce, and this is what I teach, is if we can understand a little bit about where we need improvement, that's a great launching off spot. And so we're going to talk about our Enneagram 8s, which are very doing dominant people. We are challengers. We are doers by nature, but we are very direct, tell it like it is people. And so when it comes to clutter, we don't often struggle a lot when it comes to like making the decision of like, let's say an emotional, we're not super emotional. As a matter of fact, we probably use emotions the least when it comes to our decision making, which can be helpful when it comes to clutter. But one of the things that eights really need to work on if they're not in tune and aware is patience and boundaries, because we oftentimes bite off more than we can chew. But also, and I think it to top the list would be patience with other people. Eights are very quick. We are quick processors. So we can like see something and figure out a solution. And we're good at like pivoting and thinking on our feet. But we are often around other people that take a little bit more time to discern and um, get to the point of feeling comfortable making a decision. And so we have a tendency to lose patience with those around us. And so when I think about the world of clutter and organization, and I think about parenting in particular, and we oftentimes lose patience with our kids or even our spouses because they're not doing it quick enough or they're not getting it fast enough. And practicing patience is really, really hard. But I think if we understand why it's so hard, it makes it so much easier to then have perspective as opposed to going, someone just saying, oh, I need to practice more patience. But why? Why do I need to practice patience? Well, if you're an Enneagram 8, you know that that is something that you probably need to work on because you want the world to work at your pace and it doesn't. And so that's a reality. So you need to fix you, right? We need to adjust ourselves. And I'm talking to myself. I'm looking in the mirror here. And that is the hard work of saying, I'm only responsible for how I respond to other people. And so what do I need to do if I want to get the other people in my family on board with our family organization goals? I need to either explain things differently. Maybe I need to slow things down. Maybe I need to have a little bit more intentionality as I'm teaching them to do the thing and not just jumping in to do it for them because I can get it done quicker, faster, better. So that for Enneagram 8s, I think is going to be the one of the biggest things. Now, our Enneagram 9s are also very doing dominant, but they are our peacemakers. And the interesting kind of dichotomy with the Enneagram 9s, and I'm actually going to be talking about this in depth in a future Thursday episode. We had an Ask an Expert question that specifically asked a question about Enneagram 9. So we're going to do a deep dive into the Enneagram 9s. But they oftentimes, because they can see all sides of the peacemakers, so they can see like, I can see your perspective and I can see your perspective and I can see your perspective, which is a wonderful, wonderful quality. But when it comes to organizing, it can really impact prioritization. And how do I prioritize what to do first? So maybe one of the goals or New Year's resolutions for an Enneagram 9 is to be a little bit more proactive in discerning. Enneagram 9s will tend to procrastinate on things because they're kind of chill, go with the flow people, and maybe taking some practical, actionable steps about, and I'm just spitballing here. Like, here's an example. Like, okay, maybe on Sunday nights, I'm going to sit down and look at the week ahead and I'm going to plan out a couple things that I'm going to do, or maybe I do it the night before for the following day. You can set the rhythm and the cadence that works best for you, but it's at that level of intentionality that Enneagram nines, because they're not as tightly wound as the Enneagram eights, often can swing the pendulum in the other direction. And so then they can get overwhelmed because they had a lack of planning. And so we want to be a little bit more intentional. So what practices can we put into place? And maybe that's setting reminders on your phone or in your planner if you're old school pen and paper. But I think really being very intentional. And sometimes Enneagram nines, I mean, all types can benefit from, a coach, a mentor, an accountability partner, but having that outer accountability is really, really important for your Enneagram nine. So think about that. And then finally, our ones, which also bookend the nine, they are also your doing dominant people, but they are your perfectionists. And our ones are always striving for perfection. And they have this false narrative that they have this inner critic that's telling them that everything around them they can be improving, and they're not hard on you, they're not judging other people. Enneagram ones are judging themselves. They have this, again, strong inner critic. And so the New Year's resolution that I'm recommending for your Enneagram ones is to pick an area of yourself and really practice letting go, delegating that or outsourcing that, because there are so many things that the ones will try to control. And when it comes to clutter and organization, they're trying to take on so much and own it. I'm going to challenge the ones to resolve to take something that is delegatable. I'm making up a word. And delegate it, outsource it, whether that is to your spouse, to a kid, to a friend, to a paid expert in that field. We have a lot of Enneagram ones who are professional organizers. I have a lot of Enneagram ones who I coach and mentor, and they feel that they need to own every single part of their business. And that is a number one pitfall for a lot of entrepreneurs. And whether it's finding a bookkeeper, finding a virtual assistant, finding a social media manager, finding somebody that can delegate and do some of the heavy lifting for you is a challenge for the one, because they want to try to control every variable. So finding one specific thing and saying, I am going to take this off my plate. I'm going to delegate this. I'm going to let this thing go and put it into somebody else's good qualified hands. So that is the resolution for the ones. So this is a kind of, again, our quick snippet overview of New Year's resolutions by Enneagram type. Next week, we're going to talk about our heart-centered types, which are our Enneagrams, twos, threes, and fours. But again, if you are unfamiliar with the Enneagram, check out the link below for our Enneagram cheat sheet. And if you have questions for us, shoot us an email. We love hearing from you guys. And make sure you click that follow button wherever you're watching or listening. And that way you'll never miss an episode. Until next week, I'm Laura.